Good morning, traders. Stephen Davis, RJO Futures Senior Market Strategist, downtown Chicago. Happy Friday to everybody. Talked to you about the grain markets this morning. They've been chopping around in a kind of a 2, 3, 4 cent range. Corn is up 2 cents this morning. Wheat's up 1. Soybeans are up 1. I want to talk to you about the surging dollar this morning and slower growth in China. So China and the dollar index. Corn market, we're at 4-year lows. Put a chart of the dollar index and a chart of the corn market. The dollar surging higher, corn going lower. It's really hard for corn to rally with this surging dollar going on. So keep an eye on that. We're higher today on the dollar. If we trend higher into the end of the year, it's going to hold corn back from rallying. Markets typically, when they get 50% through the harvest, they try to rally. Watch this corn harvest, so we get 50% complete, it's going to try to rally. Markets do that. Another term that I'll be talking to you about, and I like this one, is 2 weeks of higher highs. So I'll talk to you about that when it presents itself. Next week is the October crop report. Very big report. So we'll get a feeling on this supply, and you can see some short covering going into this report next Friday, October 10th. Soybean market, and we mentioned China. China consumes 1/3 of the soybeans produced in the world today. They are 65% of soybean imports. So I think they're going to continue. You know, back in the 1980s, 1990s, we had low grain prices for many, many years. Of course, that's 30, 35 years ago. The world's different today. We have these developing markets whose diets are more like ours, hence the demand for our grain markets. So we get this harvest out of the way, we're going to try to rally the grains. South American harvest, or excuse me, South American weather, if it's normal, is going to hold back these rallies in the grain markets, but we'll talk about that as we go forward. We had a supply report. Soybeans, the USDA came out and said 69 million more bushels of soybeans last year in 2013. So I thought I'd mention it. It's kind of funny. The USDA takes a year to tell us last year's harvest was 69 million bushels more. Pipeline supply, we had 92 million bushels of soybeans this summer. That's a new low. You got to go back to 1983. So 92 million bushels is a new pipeline low, record low that we had this summer. This is the fastest replenishment in soybeans in the world that we've ever seen. With North America production, South America coming on board, there's going to be a lot of soybeans around, and this is the fastest the world's ever done this. So it's dry in South America. You had a gigantic rally in coffee yesterday. Also, you're starting to hear talks of soybean rust. Disregard this at this time. So the weather is pretty good in South America as we speak. The wheat market, a little bit different. It's trying to rally here. You had good exports yesterday. Open interest on Wednesday was up 9,000 contracts at the CME. So Egypt, the biggest wheat buyer in the world, bought wheat from USA. Last week, they bought French origin wheat this week. But so we're getting competitive on wheat prices in the world. Ukraine and Russian tensions kick up here. You could see wheat rally 20 cents immediately. So looking forward to next week. What can drive the market? Certainly yield. We'll keep an eye on that. Frost, you're going to get some frost. Going to be some cold temperatures tonight, but the rest of the Corn Belt is going to be in pretty good shape. There could be some frost harm in the northern Corn Belt. And then this crop report Friday, you could get some short covering. We'll talk to you about that next Friday. And then one other thing, headlines. Be careful about headlines. Don't trade according to headlines in the newspapers. One of it was the wheat shorts all-time record bets low. So the funds are record short in wheat. A lot of times the wheat market will rally back on that news. And then one other headline, China not buying U.S. soybeans. Be careful about that. They're notorious. They come in here and buy soybeans at $9 or $8.50. A week or 2 or 3 later, they're at $10. So when you see headlines, China not buying U.S. soybeans, disregard that as well. So, and have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next week. Futures and options on futures may involve substantial risk and may not be suitable for all investors.